Hi, my name is Elin Zweme. In this demonstration, I'll be presenting my Enterprise Security Operations Center, which is my SOC lab. And the purpose of this environment is to simulate how an organization centralizes Windows security logs, monitors Active Directory activity, detects malicious behavior, and supports incident response using Splunk Enterprise. And this is my environment, as you can see right here. So this lab consists of multiple virtual machines connected on an isolated enterprise network. As you can see there right here, we have this one, which is our domain controller, which is right here, DC. So this has our Active Directory domain services, DNS, and group policy, which is right here, group policy management and identity management. We have our Active Directory services right here. And then we have our client machines. We have our client O1, which is right here. And then we also have our client O2. So these two clients um, have a Windows 11 operating system. So they are workstations and they are being used for standard employee endpoints, which generates authentication and sysmon events. Um, we now have a file O1, which is right here, which is our enterprise file server, and it contains our department shares right here. And then NTFS permissions, access-based enumeration, and file auditing. It also has a Splunk forwarder. So all these endpoints they contain a file Splunk forwarder which forwards the logs into our Splunk environment, which is our web-based interface right here. We have the web-based interface, and then we have our Ubuntu O1 right here. This is our Ubuntu server that contains our Splunk O1 um, server that was built in here. And then it contains a Splunk Enterprise and centralized SIEM and receives logs from every Windows computer. So the web interface is right here. So this is our home dashboard that I'll explain in a moment here. Then we have our network architecture that I was able to build. And when we go right here to any of these, just go to settings here. All of them, we got our network adapter, which is right here, CyberLab, that we're using as a second adapter to help our VMs to communicate. And then all Windows systems send security logs through the Splunk Universal Forwarder over TCP 9997 to the Splunk Enterprise server running on Ubuntu, which is right here. And then we have sysmon, Windows event logs, security logs, PowerShell logs, Active Directory logs. And then each endpoint runs sysmon, which is going to provide detailed telemetry beyond standard Windows logs. And we have our sysmon here, which is running. So just go ahead and demonstrate it here in one of these clients. So just put in my password. Um, So I'm just going to test it right here as well. So I just come over here. This is our domain controller. It also contains our the sysmon running here, and we also verify Splunk running here, the Splunk folder. So we're starting with sysmon. The command is get service sysmon 64. As you can see, sysmon is running. If we run that same command here in our file server, it's going to just running it as an admin, which is not really a big problem here because I'm already logged in here as one of the admin. So we just go get service, sysmon 64. Yeah, you can see here sysmon is running. If we go and then we also get Splunk services running here, it's going to be get service Splunk folder. So Splunk folder is running here. So if we type in another command here to get Splunk processes, yes, as you can see, the Splunk is running, and then this is the ID of that process and the process name, which is right here. This was our file 01, and we also have a domain controller right here. So just demonstrating servers. Yep, there was a typo here. Forwarder. Yes, Splunk is running. So we just go to one of our client here just to test it. Just go right there. CLS host name. This is our client 01. So we just go ahead and type get service sysmon 64. Oh no. Yes, so sysmon is running. If we go back right here, Splunk forwarder. You can see Splunk is running here as well. This is our client 01, and this is our Splunk server. So the command to verify Splunk is running or is active is sudo systemctl status Splunk. Just type in my password here, and then we're going to see that Splunk is active here in a moment. Just typing my password. Yes, as you can see here, Splunk service is running. It says it's active. So Splunk is already running here, Splunk service. And then we'll go right here to our client oh 01 just to verify that as well. No, I'm just going to verify that one as well. So as we go through each of these machines or clients computers, each endpoint runs the Splunk universal forwarder, and it continuously forwards Windows and sysmon events to the SIEM, which is our security event management system. So just go ahead and test that one here as well, just to make sure that everything is accurate. Just demonstrating that. So get service, get service, sysmon 64, get service, Splunk folder. Yeah, so Splunk is running here as well. So our Ubuntu server, which is right here, yeah, hosts our Splunk Enterprise, which indexes and stores all incoming events from the environment. And then just to demonstrate that it's listening to the Splunk ports, we got the port right here that I'm going to run in a moment. Let me clear this out. So the command is sudo ss space dash ltnp space grep pipe and then grep. Then we're going to type the port is 9997. So it's listening to the Splunk um, port, and then we can see here the process ID is right there, which is 2155. So now we're going to go through our dashboards as well, the dashboards that I was able to build in a moment here. So which is helping us to get information about our systems and the logs that we're getting from different endpoints coming from our file oh 01, um, our domain controller, then our client O2, and then our client oh 01. So I built already searches that are generating all these dashboards. So over here we have a centralized um, command center dashboard that we can see right here. These are the total events that are happening within our system. So this centralized SOC monitoring dashboard provides like real-time visibility into security telemetry endpoints activity. So it's hosting like report status and active investigations of what's going on in our system. So right now we got 14,857 events running or happening within our system. And then we have like host reporting here. These are the hosts. We have our client oh 01, client oh 02, our domain controller, and then we have our file oh 01. So those are the hosts that are reporting here. If we go right here, we have two active alerts, what's going on in our system. So, and then we have the event volume trends. what's happening. These are like spikes or things that we can definitely monitor and then verify. We also have our top hosts, and then as you can see right here, we have domain controller, which is this VM right here. And then we have our client O1, client O2, and then we have our file server right here. If you go, for instance, in each one of these, it's going to provide you more information of what's going on there. And then we have our top processes, and then latest events, what's going on in our system. So now we're just going to go through the dashboards as I was saying earlier on. We got multiple dashboards that were built in our system. So this is one of them, but I'll just go through uh, all those dashboards that I have here. So if we go, this is where we can definitely make searches and then like write uh, queries, like Splunk queries. So we got our dashboards right here. So we got Active Directory monitoring, authentication, endpoint threats, executive security, file share access monitoring, meter attack and monitoring. We got SOC command center, the one that I already showed. We also have a threat hunting. So starting with our executive dashboard, um, which is right here. So these dashboards provide an overview of environment, including authentication activity, privilege logons. We also have our endpoint telemetry and account changes. So we have our total security events right here. We got security events by hosts, events by data source. We have our security event trends. We also have our latest host activity. So as we can see, all these are reports coming from our uh, clients' machines, and then it gives like details of what's going on there. So this is like a high level overview of security activity across the environment. So as we go through each one of these, we can definitely analyze what's going on within our system, and it's going to give us details, information about all these happening. If you want to see the searches, we just go right here to edit, and then I have all my searches right here. Let's select, for instance, this one. When you go here, search, this is one of the indexes query that I made just to display this for us. If you go right here, we'll definitely see this as well. We have our query right here, index equal main equal stats, and then DC host as hosts, which is one of our queries right here. So we got details information about all these, and then we also have our Active Directory dashboard, which is right here. And then when it comes to this Active Directory dashboard, this one is there to help us or to help our security teams detect unauthorized privilege escalation, or if there is like any accounts that was deleted or created. As you can see right here, during the last 24 hours, there was no account that was created. And then if we go right here, For user deletion, there was nothing that was deleted. So we also go to password resets, nothing. And then recent changes, nothing happened. But if we change, for instance, let's go to recent Active Directory changes, nothing happened during the last 24 hours. If we do during the last 7 days, as we can see right here, these are the changes that happened within our system, the date, and then the time that all these happened. We also have in which host that it was performed. The event code is right here, or event ID. And then we have the person who did that and who's the person that was created. Say, for instance, this one was one of the accounts, and then one of the events that happened within our system right here. And then the administrator was able to make all these changes in our system. If we go to user deletion, as you can see, we got two users that were deleted. We also have a password reset, two of them that happened, group membership changes. We got all these. There was only one that happened here in the system. And then when we go to recent AD changes, there's a lot of them that happen. And then there's still the administrator who did all these changes. So if we go to our next dashboard, which is our endpoint dashboard, which is right here. So when it comes to this, we do have our Sysmon, which provide high fidelity endpoint visibility, allowing analysts to investigate suspicious activity. As we can see here, there was no process that was created during the last 24 hours. And when we go to network connections, nothing happened. File creation, nothing. Registry changes, nothing happened. Then DNS queries, nothing happened during the last 24 hours. We got our top processes, nothing happened. But if we change this to the last 7 days, we'll definitely get more information as time goes by. And if there is nothing that was provided here or nothing was done during the last 7 days, but we can definitely try to change it to the last um, 30 days. Let's see, for instance, nothing was created here, as you can see. And then it gives us like nothing as well, because none of these processes uh, provided more information when it comes to that. So if we go to all time, for instance, right here, it's definitely going to provide more information. As you can see, for the top processes, which is identifying the most frequently executed process across monitor endpoints. And if we go to network connection as well, we see 412 network connections that happen. Process creation 16,000. That was the first one, but we got the overall amount 45,741. File creation. See, that was the first number that appeared, but we got 23,000 and 70 um, file creation. Registry changes, how many of them happen in our system? 19,303. DNS queries, we got which hosts requested or made those queries, as we can see right here. If you go here, we got a lot of them. And then we also have our large detections. So we got a lot of dashboards that I was able to create as well. We got file and access monitoring, which is monitoring our file share server. So total share access events. This is what happened during the last 24 hours. We got two of them, and then we have our files who are the users that access all these, and then the share name as well. We got all these users, so they're right here. These are the two users. We can see Alisa, and then we also have John Williams right there. Then our file share server, which is right here, and then I'm just going to show um, those shared folders are right here. We got two of them. We have our file share here, which is this is our home folder, and then we have our share right here. So all these users will access these uh, shared folders through access-based enumeration, which gives them access to only the folder that they are of their department, the department in which they are assigned into. As we can go right here, we have our Active Directory users and computers services. As you can see, we got users right here, and then when we go to our um, DNS, we got a domain controller right there, and then we got our group policies right here. We got a lot of policies that we implemented just to help our organization move forward, and also to monitor our users and activities that are going on within our system, and only give them access to things that they need. So we're going to generate one of the live detection right here. So I'll go for, let's say for instance, let's go to our domain controller right here, or I can definitely do it here in one of the clients as well. Let me just perform it right here. Okay, let's do who am I? Let's say for instance right here. So we see we got this person. This command helps us to see who's the user or like the active user here. Then we go ipconfig, for instance. So it's giving us the configuration of this uh, computer or the network configuration. So we also going to use net user as well. We got all these information. So let's now go to our Splunk server, and then we're going to see this live session that we just demonstrated. We'll go to our web interface, Splunk, right here. This is our web interface. Let's go to our search. So let's go to search and reporting. Okay. Now let's type the it's going to be index equal, and then we're going to use what call host equal client client 01. Okay, as we can see, this are the information that we are getting that we just recently run. So this is using like the universal time. So we just run this command just like a minute ago, so you can see. So our Splunk is um, receiving the event generated by the endpoints, and if we try to go through it, it's going to give us the information about all these, about what happened here as well. So it's getting all this information coming from our client O1. And then so when it comes to all these, we're also going to generate or get our PowerShell logging demonstration. We can just go back right here and then type event code because we already run PowerShell. So event code equal to 4104. Yes, this is one of the processes or like the PowerShell logging that we just run in this client machine right here. So the time that I'm using here on my computers or on my clients is Arizona time. So it's different than the one that I'm using here. So you can see here this event, which is our PowerShell logging, and the PowerShell scripts block logging captures executed commands, which is valuable for detecting malicious PowerShell activity. And we also have our active directory monitoring that I'm going to just create one of the users just for demonstration purpose. So we'll just go right here and then we go here. Let's say for instance the user and that's the name John. Let's see for instance and okay and John. We're just creating that. And then we go right here. Let's just create the password. Yeah. Let's say for instance we just created this user. As you can see, and John is right here. Now when we go back to our system here to our Splunk, it's going to generate that. We saw it earlier on that we did not have um, in our Active Directory here, we did not have one of the account that was recently created during the last 24 hours, but over here we see there's one right after creating that. No accounts was deleted. So when we go to our search right here, let's look for the event code for 4720. So as you can see, there was one account that was created. So we'll just run like a minute ago or 30 seconds ago. As we can see, it's right here. And then it happened in our domain controller. So if we try to go and get more information on that, the person who did it is the administrator who did that. So the new account that was created, as we go through it, it was and John, and then the account was in our domain. Then this is the user principal name, and it gives us like all details information about the user. The password was enabled, user parameters, SID, then additional information. So it gives us all the information about what happened in our system. And then our Splunk is immediately detecting the new account creation event. And when we try to delete this account right here. Let's go back to domain controller. Let me just go back here. When you go to Active Directory user deletion, there's nothing showing here. So if we go right here and then delete this account, let's delete it, and John is deleted, and we come right back here, and then we try to refresh it. Yes, there was one user that was deleted, and then the event code is 4726. When we go to our Splunk search, we go back here, just type the event code again. As you can see, it's giving us all the information it was just performed like a minute ago. The person who did it, and then on the account that was deleted in our system. Then message a user account was deleted right here. So when it comes to our file share monitoring, as we go through our system right here, as I explained earlier on, this file share is helping us like with like file access auditing, which enables like monitoring of sensitive departmental shares and helps investigate unauthorized access. And then we got like searches for like failed logon attempts that we got in our Active Directory system. These are part of like the threats as well, like to detect like if there is any threat happening, as I explained earlier on. And let's go back right here for like our threat hunting. For instance, this dashboard. So this definitely helps us like with any PowerShell, anything happening within our system during the last 7 days, where process nothing happened, process events, like if there's anything suspicious that happened within our system right here, it definitely demonstrating everything. Or if we go to like our meter attack monitoring as well, we got everything right here. So these are our Sysmon event distribution, which shows the volume of Sysmon telemetry by event ID, and which helps analysts understand what activity is occurring across monitoring endpoints and identify unusual event spikes. And then we also have our meter attack techniques, then PowerShell activities, what happened in our system. And then we have our top sysmon processes, sysmon activity by hosts. And then I'm just going to generate to search for just like a few um, event codes as well here in our search, as we already did for the user creation and deletion. We have our failed logon, which is event ID 46 25. So this definitely demonstrate what happened. Like earlier on, I was trying to log into one of our in one of our clients here, as you saw it earlier on. Like the password, I type in like the wrong password, and this is demonstrating what happened and then where this happened. And if we try to scroll down a little bit. It's also showing for the other clients as well because there was the wrong password was entered. And we also have our account lockout, which is 47 40. So now none of the accounts has been locked out right here. Let's say, for instance, our threshold here for account locked out is five passwords, like five wrong password. Let's type in, for instance, this is the first one we type, and then let's go type the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one, and then the fifth one. So the password is incorrect. Okay, invalid credentials delaying next attempt. So this account has been locked out. We saw it earlier on, we did not have anything showing here. But when we try to search one more time, as we can see, it's generating the information right here in our system. So this host right here is showing this because it's in our domain controller. But when we try to go down, we can see the account that was Alisa. As we go right here, uh, that was Alisa Jensen right here. And then the caller computer name, it happened in client O1. So when we try to get our, we already got our PowerShell and also Sysmon process creation. Um, the search is going to be um, event code 1. So we got there is a huge amount of our Sysmon process creation here, 3,710. Go like pattern statistics if we want to see visuals, but these are all the events that Sysmon generated during the last 24 hours right here. If we want, we can definitely change it, and then it's going to display more information when it comes to that. And when we try to get our DNS as well, we got this amount, 286 DNS queries that happen within our system. So to conclude with the technologies that I've integrated, well, this project demonstrates enterprise security monitoring across multiple Windows systems using Active Directory, Sysmon, Splunk Enterprise, the Splunk Universal Forwarder, Windows Event Forwarding, Group Policy, PowerShell logging, file auditing, and endpoint telemetry, which simulates a real-world SOC where security analysts can investigate authentication events, endpoints activity, privilege access, and identify lifecycle changes. So we already went through it. This is my entire environment. So these are my dashboards. So this lab has strengthened my experience with enterprise logging, SIEM administration, Active Directory, security monitoring, Windows event analysis, PowerShell, Linux administration, and incident investigation. So my next phase in this entire environment is to integrate Microsoft Entra ID, Okta, Jira automation, and Python-based identity workflows to extend this into a hybrid identity and security engineering environment. So I'll be integrating Okta, um, Intra ID, and Jira automation with Python-based identity workflows, which is going to make this more granular and then hybrid identity and security engineering environment in the future. So I'm currently working on it, and I'll be done with it um, in about like a week or two from now because I already started with it. So thank you for watching, and I do appreciate your time. Thank you so much.